We are off to item number 6, which is public comment on items not on the agenda. And Suzanne will let us know if we have people signed up.
We do, ma'am. Our first speaker this evening, and I do have to apologize.
It's okay.
Our timer's not working.
Okay,
Our civic clerk's not working.
that's
period.
okay.
That's why, that's all you're seeing up there. Grace has put in a ticket. Maybe it'll get resolved during the meeting, but we'll see.
That's fine. I can see the clock. I always write down the time the speakers start anyways, and
Okay, so city manager, Okay.
Oh, look at you guys.
it's not civic clerk, but that's perfect. Okay, so what we do is we wait till they get to the microphone, Mr. Eric back there. We wait till they get to the back of the microphone. Okay. So the first speaker is Aaron Hillstrom.
How long is my time?
3 minutes and they have a clock
Great.
running up there.
Thank you very much. I rise tonight to talk on behalf of the school board and the comments in the paper as well as in the recent meetings. I'd like to talk about Merit Academy specifically. And in this meeting, we talked about the taxing. When we look at the schools, and this is off of our Colorado Department of Education, our charter school in Colorado is a public school that is tuition free and open to all students. It operates under a charter or contract between the school, and in our case, the Board of Education, and it has a semi-autonomous public school of choice. Charter schools generally has more flexibility than traditional public schools as regards to curriculum and fiscal management. In exchange for flexibility, the charter school is bound by contract to be held accountable for meeting the performance-based objectives specific in the charter, which Merit is doing. They receive state funding based on per pupil operating revenue, 100%. House Bill 1375 was signed into law June 2nd, 2017, and requires school districts to distribute funding they receive from local property tax and mill levy overrides. Now, these parents, of which I'm one, we're paying taxes in this local community, and we don't want to give them to Merit Academy, yet parents have a choice to send their children there. These are tax dollars that they deserve and they should have, and I don't think that the students should pay for it. If we want to have better oversight, then that's what we have a Board of Education for. And I think being held accountable to their achievements, which they are doing well, is necessary. Now, when we talk about enrollment, I just don't understand this argument of Merit Academy. It's because Merit Academy is in the district that enrollment's up, but it's not really increased. For over 10 years, we have declined in enrollment. Since this board and with this charter school, by CDE, we are 15% increase in enrollment. That's facts. And yet we're attacking the board as if they're doing bad, as if we're not doing the right thing. The previous boards failed, plain and simple. When they chose to operate unanimously and step on our constitutional rights, our First Amendment rights as parents, that's when they got voted out. This board, if they operate in the same, will be voted out. But to put conjecture out there and to increase the rhetoric, this is lunacy. Look at the facts. We are failing our children. The benchmarks, I'm on the DAC and I'm on the SAC. And I can tell you personally, our benchmarks aren't where they should be. Our 6th and 7th graders, 60% failing in reading and math. That's not acceptable. So if we need to have charter schools so that parents can have a choice to send their kids to a better education rather than a failing system, then that's what we should do. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That was fine. Name again, please.
Next speaker is Deanne Betterman.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm Deanne Betterman, and I've lived here for about 21 years. Ms. Harvey suggested that the City Council should take a hard look at the small portion of sales tax that directly funds public education in Woodland Park. Her complaint is that Woodland Park School District divides the revenue amongst all district schools. It should hardly be objectionable that tax revenue passed by voters for the funding of school is being used to fund each district school proportional to the size and population of the school. After all, Ms. Harvey does not suggest that the money is being used improperly or unlawfully for any unlawful purpose. When you get down to it, her objection seems to be that the students at Merritt Academy, a public charter school, are not being arbitrarily excluded from their share of sale tax. What could possibly be the basis for denying a public school like Merritt Academy a fair share of tax revenue designed to fund schools is not something Ms. Harvey was very clear about. What is clear is that Ms. Harvey does not like Merritt Academy and doesn't want it treated like a Woodland Park public school. This is not new. When she interviewed for an appointment to the Woodland Park School Board the summer of 22, she made it clear that she disagreed with the chartered Merritt Academy. The school board didn't choose her, and now it appears that she would make it difficult for those who rely on Woodland Park School District for education or employment in her campaign against Merritt Academy and the school board. The reality is eliminating the sales tax for education would have a dramatic negative impact on education and a dramatic negative impact on all of our kids, not just the ones at Merritt. Why should they be denied a share of the public education funding because their parents, who are taxpayers, exercise their legal right to a school of their choice? Like it or not, Merritt Academy is a public school, and the children going there are receiving a public education, and it should be funded by public dollars, just like any other public schools. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Linda Martin. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Need Owen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Temp and City Council for listening to us this evening. I'm here to actually thank you and congratulate you on bringing the attention to Mental Health Awareness Month for the month of May. And I really wanted to say my thanks and appreciation for that. I am both a parent and a teacher at the Woodland Park School District. My name is Nate Owen. As many of you are aware, there's several changes that are happening constantly in our school district. And tonight, I'd like to speak a little bit firsthand on some of the important things that's happening in our school district that are related to the health of our students and how that supports the development of our students to become successful citizens. We don't separate a child's physical health and their mental health because health is health. When children are supported in their health, they are ready to learn and grow with their peers. We have been working very hard in our district to make sure that the kids are ready to learn. It takes a village to raise a child. The school is just one part of this community. I'll tell you that my child's teacher, I've got two children in the school district currently and two more that are on their way. My child's teachers and their support staff in this district are part of that village for my children. I'm a part of that village for my students. And there's many teachers in our school district that are a part of that village for their students, and they show them love on a continual basis. I want to share a few stories about some of the wonderful things that are going on in our school. For instance, my son, at the beginning of the school year, he has autism and was classified as nonverbal. Since working with his school community and working through some mental wellness with the class and his support staff, he has now become emerging verbal, and the class has become more accepting of his speech delays. Yesterday, and so this is a little bit more personal, yesterday, his teacher called me after school and shared with me a super success story, and I want to share that with you guys. My son got brave and stood up in front of the school-wide assembly and put his hand up, and the speaker called on my son, and he was able to verbalize a question, and he was understood to this guest speaker. It was wonderful. And my my pride as a dad and my wife are so proud of my son. Another story, I was talking with another parent at something the other day. She wanted me to share with you about her daughter, Ellie. She's in kindergarten this year. She's 6 years old. In the typical conversation, Ellie came home from school and the mom says, "Hey, how was your day today?" And Ellie, a 6-year-old in kindergarten, said, "Mommy, today I got to learn how to be a better friend today." And that is something that some adults struggle with. I'll tell you that I know that I was not able to verbalize that until I had grown and become more of an adult. And here we are teaching 6-year-olds in kindergarten how to be better friends. My daughter at the middle school is in 6th grade. She comes home and she tells me about some of the things that she's learning in one of her classes. She's doing a unit right now about how to gracefully receive in the unit called Attitude of Gratitude. And she's able to come home and verbalize how she's learning about how to give back to her community and receive that thanks when she gets there in a respectful and humble way. Many mental health screeners are going to be discontinued next year. Imagine some of the students that are not able to outwardly show their challenges with peer relationships, or they might have some isolation or have a perception of being bullied. Outcomes for students that feel targeted and isolated or just disconnected from their community are bleak at best. We heard that earlier tonight. Health screenings allow for students to share their perspective with trusted adults. Trusted adults, teachers, the counselors, the administrators can use some of this data for strategic grouping, their peer relationship building, and additional proactive interventions to better the community of the classrooms in our schools.
Mr. Owens, I don't mean to be rude, but your time is up. So
I
if you could-
apologize.
it's
Can I?
okay.
I've got
Just,
a
yeah,
couple more.
it's your final
seconds. Yeah.
wrap up.
Yes, thank you. I'm concerned about the shift in our district away from providing mental health support services. For example, I am having trouble understanding how issuing a proclamation against mental health screeners is supportive or helpful for our students. Students without these mental health opportunities and these services are not going to perform well academically in the classrooms, because in order to grow academically, all of the students' needs need to be met. I want to leave you guys with a quote from The Lion King. I was watching this with my son the other day, and this just really spoke to me. Mufasa, the father, was speaking to his son Simba, and he said, "There's more to being king than getting your way all the time. You see, Simba, everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. And as king, you will need to understand that balance and respect all the creatures, from the crawling ant to the leaping antelope." And that speaks to me tonight, because I feel like the students need that mental health service support that we can provide for them. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Chris Austin.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Chris Austin, and I come to you tonight as your neighbor, actually. For the past 25 and a half years, I have pastored Emmaus Fellowship at 205 North Pine Street, just across our shared parking lot. And as your neighbor, I want to thank you for doing your part to heighten our awareness by recognizing May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Over the years, I have worked with students and adults alike, and I have placed a great emphasis on cultivating healthy community. And I've discovered that the way forward in this endeavor is to invest in the health and the well-being of individuals within our community. The past 8 years of my work has been focused on integrating a blend of pastoral care that intends to address all aspects of life, including mental health. Seems to me that when the soul of an individual thrives, they have greater capacity to contribute to a healthy community. It's with this in mind that I am currently on the Teller County Mental Health Alliance Interfaith Task Force. From my perspective, the magic ingredient of our community has always been collaboration. And by that, I mean a very intentional effort to put, let's say, the efforts on the part of the school district and communities of faith and local law enforcement, scouting programs, city parks and rec, community partnerships, all working together to form a network of care that may be direct care and it may be indirect care. And when I think of collaboration, I think of programs and initiatives that are funded by a variety of sources, by taxpayer dollars, by grant funding, by the generous financial contributions of individuals and organizations. And regardless of the funding source, it has always been my experience that the citizens of Woodland Park have been welcome to participate in this collaborative culture. Your decision to recognize May as Mental Health Awareness Month in Woodland Park is well-timed. As you are aware, the recent decisions on the part of the Woodland Park School Board and the district's interim superintendent to refuse over $1 million in annual grant funding that for years, even before a global pandemic, supported the mental health of students and their families. These non-taxpayer dollars have helped reinforce this collaborative network of care, not simply within our schools, but throughout the complex textures of our city and our region. And while I do recognize their authority to make such decisions, I'm afraid this will prove a huge misstep in leadership. The ripples of their decisions impact us all. It is my hope that we will always remember the power of collaboration, that we will find ways to shore up this tremendous loss of participation on the part of the current directorship of the Woodland Park School District, and that we will grow in our awareness and our compassion towards our fellow citizens who face mental health challenges. Again, thank you for being a part here tonight and recognizing May as Mental Health Awareness Month in Woodland Park. And lastly, I want to thank you for being good neighbors over all these decades. Thank you.
Thank you.
And